Today I'm going to talk about the 4 traps that couples get into after having kids. So if you want to know what they are and how to avoid them or what to do instead, keep on watching. My name is Janna Denton-Howes. I'm a marriage coach and I'm creator of 2 programs, 30 Days to Wanting It More and the Marriage Mastery Club. And I'm here to help you have an amazing marriage. So let's get right into it. The first trap that couples get into is thinking that it's all their fault if their marriage is falling apart. And I just want to say that statistics show that when you have kids under 5, it can be the most stressful time on a relationship. You are not alone. You are not unique. There's nothing wrong with you. You are exhausted. You are learning a new skill. You're trying to parent. You have more housework to negotiate. There might be a change. Maybe you're staying at home and your husband's at work. Maybe the roles have reversed. A lot of changes and a lot of things to negotiate and navigate. So if you're struggling, it's not just you. In fact, research done by the Gottman Institute shows that 63% of couples after 3 years of their first child being born report being more unhappy in their relationship. So, honey, it's not just you guys. And so just breathe a sigh of relief. Your marriage is not headed for divorce if this is happening, okay? But let me help you with the other 3 tips, get you out of some of the other common traps and hopefully give you some really practical ways to make sure that you don't completely lose contact with one another. So trap number 1 is thinking that it's all about you and that it's your fault and that nobody else struggles with this. Just ain't true. The second trap is that we get into this rhythm of just cohabitating and just dealing with a lot of issues all the time. You know, like I mentioned, the issue of housework, the issue of parenting, the issue of who's going to go out tonight, who gets, time away from the house, the issue of money. That might be a big stress for you guys right now. You need some friend time. So let's get you guys a few moments, even if it's just a few moments in the kitchen or a few moments after the kids go to bed, where you don't talk about issues, where you have a friendly conversation. And just like you would have with a friend, you ask them about their work, you ask them about their hopes and their dreams about the future. You ask them one of my favorite questions is, what is your win for the day? What was your victory? And that can be kind of fun to know what your partner's highlight was of the day. And just, and also just, you can still have fun even when, life with kids doesn't have to be so serious, and you can still have fun and be goofy in the kitchen, or I don't know why I always think goofy things happen in the kitchen. I guess that's just in our relationship. It does. You can pull out a board game. It doesn't have to be so big, like a big date night or anything like that, because sometimes that can lead to a lot more pressure, but just a little bit more fun time. So don't fall into that trap and stay connected with your spouse. You don't have to do big things, but just make sure that when you kind of come out of that survival mode, when your kids start to sleep a little bit and you're not so engrossed in parenting and not so exhausted and you're having a little bit more sleep, then you aren't complete strangers, and then you have to kind of work your way back. And unfortunately, a lot of couples at that point just feel like they've drifted too far apart. So don't get into that trap and make sure you get some friend time together. Remember, the only rule of friend time is no issues allowed. So no talking about budget, no anything, just kind of and put it away for later. Okay, the third trap is pouring all of your energies and resources into your kid. I'm sure you've heard this before, but you've heard it before because it's so true, is that the best thing you can give for your children is a great marriage. And I know it's hard in this day and age, especially for moms, because we have a lot of pressure. We're supposed to feed our kids properly. We're supposed to make sure that they're doing well developmentally, they're intellectually stimulated. We're supposed to make sure that they're well socialized, and we're supposed to stay away from things like BPA and I don't know, lots of things we're supposed to do. Have a beautiful home, cook delicious meals, keep on top of laundry. I'm never on top of laundry. Make sure your kitchen's clean all the time. I mean, the list goes on, and it's so easy to feel just so inadequate. And so it makes sense that we want to put all of our resources, energy, money into our kids, when really what they really need is some loving parents who love each other. So sometimes you just have to prioritize your marriage, stick your kids in front of the TV if you can, and spend a few moments together, whether that's having friendship time or having sex or anything like that. So what's the next trap? I think I was on trap number 3. The last trap is talking about sex, of course. I like to do that. Is kind of losing touch with one another. You see how I did that? Losing touch. So good. So, you know, when you have little kids with women, you get a lot of cuddles in, right? You got all that oxytocin flowing. Maybe you're still breastfeeding, and you get a lot of touch. Your touch needs are met when you have little kids. Often your husband's touch needs aren't met very much with their children, so they're getting less snuggles and hugs, and because they're generally at work. I'm being very stereotypical here, but it was just my experience. And so they're kind of feeling a little bit like, whoa, what's going on here? Plus, it's not just for your husband. I do not agree with guilt sex at all, or thinking that it's just to appease your husband. Oh, that makes me want to throw up in my mouth a little bit. But that your relationship and you need sexual touch. You're not getting that from your children, but that sexual touch is really the glue that holds your marriage together. That's what gives you that bonding hormone, oxytocin, and also fills you up with endorphins and dopamine and all sorts of juicy, yummy, wonderful stuff. And if that's not happening in your relationship, then you yourself, I'm not just talking about your marriage, but you yourself are missing out on so many great, emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental benefits that you otherwise are missing out on. So, what I find really great, and what I teach in my program, 30 Days to Wanting It More, is a form of scheduled sex where you only have sex on the scheduled time, and within that structure provides much more freedom to kind of be flirty and play around, because then you aren't feeling like if you start something you have to finish it, kind of, so to speak. And so it kind of frees yourself up to be a little bit more, enjoy each other a little bit more without that pressure to go the distance. And then when you do meet up for the sexual experience, then I also provide a new structure where women are the leaders of the sexual experience. If you're interested in learning more about that, you can join my program anytime you want. Right now we're in a live round, but it's a self-guided, it's fully set up to be self-guided. Janna Denton-Howes.com/30-days. I will put a link down below. I hope you are having a wonderful day, and I hope that these practical tips have helped you kind of not get in those traps or come out of those traps. And also, I really hope that you know that you are normal and that it's not your fault, and that if you're struggling in your marriage, it's because you got little kids and it's really hard, okay? And when they get older, my kids are 8 and 9, it gets easier. I promise. Don't believe anyone else who says it just gets harder, the challenges change. No, it gets easier, okay? So have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys later.